Morning everyone, and thank you for joining us for this content and document visualization webinar hosted by ImageFast and SharePoint. My name is Holly Murphy. I'm the Marketing Executive at ImageFast, and I'd just like to introduce you to our host today and also some housekeeping rules. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, then please feel free to ask them. You can put them in the box on the right-hand side, and we will answer these at the end of the webinar. So joining us today we have Mark Haverty, who's a Principal Consultant at ImageFast. He's going to be going over some highlights of SharePoint, and then we will lead on to our demo, which is going to be presented by Carlyle, who's the Sales Director of SharePoint. I'm now going to pass you over to Mark so he can intro and talk about SharePoint.
Thanks, Holly. Before we get started, I'll just take you through a quick agenda of what we're going to cover today. I'll give you a quick introduction to ImageFast, who we are and what we do. We'll have a quick look at SharePoint 2013's enterprise search capabilities before introducing Ontolica Preview from SharePoint and covering some of the key elements that you'll see in the demonstration today, which will be provided by Carlyle from SharePoint. When we come back from the demonstration, I'll give you an overview of a case study for SharePoint 2013 and Ontolica Preview together, and how we actually implemented both of those technologies for one of our clients. So a quick introduction to who we are. ImageFast, we're a technology and consulting organization. We've been around since 1997 and we have a strong history of delivering enterprise content management and document management solutions since we were formed. We're a Microsoft Gold certified partner, and we deliver solutions to capture, control, and communicate around all kinds of business content and documentation. We have a dedicated SharePoint practice, of which I'm one of the principal consultants, and obviously SharePoint is the focus of our webinar today. So, quick overview of some of the SharePoint solutions we've delivered here at ImageFast. I won't go through all of these, but as you can see there, these are kind of custom solutions, all built on the SharePoint platform, a range of different types of solutions. But what we're focusing on today is solutions built around requirements for enterprise search. So SharePoint 2013 Enterprise Search, let me give you a quick overview of that because there's some changes from SharePoint 2010. Essentially, Enterprise Search delivered through SharePoint 2013 provides the ability to search for and access all of your business data in one place. So, we get a nice search capability allowing us to find content that may be in SharePoint, perhaps Exchange public folders, network file shares, maybe CRM and ERP data, line of business, as well as federated websites and people search. So the ability to search across a broad range of underlying content repositories and content types, all from one location. So just quickly focus on some of the new capabilities of search in SharePoint 2013. The big one really is the integration of FAST, which brings with it a number of key capabilities. We've got the ability to provide type-ahead search and search query suggestions to end users. There's new ranking models to improve search results, and it's now easier for us to customize search results for end users based on the new ranking models. From an architectural point of view, there's some key changes, one of which is that analytics is now built directly into the search architecture rather than being a separate service application. Additionally, SharePoint 2013 provides the capability for continuous crawl content. So while we can still set up full crawl rules and incremental crawl rules, we can have this continuous crawl running. So as content hits SharePoint or any of the content sources that SharePoint is crawling, it's crawled instantly and therefore made available to end users to search more quickly as well. One of the other key introductions with SharePoint 2013 search is the introduction of the Hover Preview panel for search results, which again, as we're focusing on search and document preview, that's one of the elements I'll focus on this morning. So this is an example SharePoint 2013 search results page. Here we can see the end user's search for a query here, a green thermal, and we're seeing some results in the center of the page there that match the end user's query term. On the left hand side we've got some search refiners, and you'll see at the bottom there The modified date shows us an example of the introduction of kind of visual refiners, which is new with SharePoint 2013, the ability to move sliding scales rather than having to click items. On the right-hand side, you'll see a document preview panel, actually showing us a preview of a document that's highlighted there, the Word document where the mouse arrow is highlighted, and underneath that, the document information panel. So what the end user is able to do is quickly ascertain, is this actually a piece of content that contains the information that they're looking for in order to do their job. So this provides lots of key improvements to search over SharePoint 2010. However, there are some limitations when it comes to document preview capabilities. Firstly, this document preview only supports Microsoft Office file formats, so there's no support for PDFs, for example, which is obviously still a key file format used by most businesses. With SharePoint 2013 search out the box, you'll only be able to preview Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint documents, for example. Also, this requires Microsoft Office web apps to be installed, which, unlike SharePoint 2010, this is now a separate product. Unlike it in the past, it was a service application. This is now a separate product that you need to include with SharePoint in order to provide the preview capabilities. Additionally, there's no search hit highlights, so although the preview allows us to see visually if we think we've got the right document, once we actually open the document, the end user would then have to rerun their search to actually find the search matches within the document itself. And the preview is only available in Search Center sites. So with that, let's introduce Ontolica Preview and look at how the Ontolica Preview helps address some of the shortcomings of SharePoint 2013 document preview capabilities out of the box. Firstly, Ontolica Preview supports over 500 file formats, so as I mentioned a moment ago, no support for PDF out of the box, and immediately we can provide document preview capabilities on PDF files. Additionally, we can integrate preview capabilities right within document libraries. So rather than this just being something that's available in search results pages, we can actually embed capabilities right in the document library to help the end user see the content in those document libraries, visualize that documentation, and make a decision if it's the documentation they need to do their job. Visually, we can highlight search query terms within documents using Ontolica Preview. So here you can see an example of that, where we've got the preview panel open for a particular document, and the search query is highlighted in yellow. And we can also provide document preview on external content, so perhaps network file shares or external content databases and so on. As well as the document preview capabilities with Ontolica, we also have the ability to provide enhanced multi-select refiners. So out of the box with SharePoint 2013, we would only be able to select one facet of a particular refiner at a time. In this example, you can see using Ontolica Preview, the end user has selected that they want to narrow those search results by file types that are either PDF, Word, or PowerPoint. Out of the box, they'd only be able to do one or the other. Here, we can do all three. So, having given you a quick introduction to Ontolica Preview, at this point I'd like to hand over to Carlyle, who will give us a demonstration of Ontolica in action.
Okay, thanks Mark. Well, my name is Carlyle and I am responsible for business here in Europe for Surfray. Some of you might know Surfray already, but just to give you a quick overview of whom we are and what we do. We're a Danish company based outside of Copenhagen, and we've been working with enterprise search and visualization for the last 10 years, since Server Portal 2003. Our clients are a mix of larger international companies with complex SharePoint environments spanning several continents and farms, as well as smaller installations that are based on SharePoint Foundation. SharePoint Foundation. To start, let us look at the standard SharePoint, just to give you a comparison as we walk through that and show you a comparison to Ontolica Preview for 2013. We can see here we've added top navigation, so I'll just select the standard search. And whilst the latest version of SharePoint has provided many new advances, as Mark mentioned to us earlier, we can see in standard version of SharePoint there are a few areas surrounding search and visualization that are not enhanced. And among these I will outline to you. As I type in my search term here, or search query, it does not give me any auto suggestions or any other relevant suggestions. Therefore, it doesn't personalize my search experience, nor does it remember what other search queries I had in the past. The new version of SharePoint, as you can see here, is very nice and simplistic in nature, and SharePoint have made it easier for administrators to set up these refiners on the left-hand side without massive coding. However, these refiners, as you can see, are quite simplistically presented to the end user, and search refiners cannot be fully customizable with a few clicks in central administration. One of the major enhancements is the preview functionality for standard SharePoint. This can be accessed by installing the web apps server, and once you have installed that, previewing will only allow you to see certain types of documents or content types, and this is restricted to Office file formats and first page thumbnails of PowerPoint. So I guess the question is here, what happens when you want to see above and beyond these file formats? Which document libraries these documents residing in, and how can you access, for example, preview documents which reside outside of the SharePoint without having to install any additional infrastructure. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Just to show you here, I've gone to the custom Ontolica search center, and whilst overall we have seen there are these improvements to standard SharePoint, it still kind of gives the user a broken experience, and there's always room for improvements, and that's what I'll show you how to improve search efficiency and how to provide end users a more consistent user experience today. With Ontolica Preview, as I type in my search query here, you can see it provided me with a few search suggestions. Ontolica learns from past search behavior, and this basically enables users to reduce time spending trying to find relevant results. One of our major features in terms of search and visualization is the preview capabilities that we actually provide for SharePoint. As you can see here quite quickly, the first page preview actually shows up. I can actually go through these first page previews very easily, and there's no need to install web app server or any other plugins. All you need is a browser. They're shown instantly, so this allows the user to preview documents within the enterprise, and actually eliminates tedious task of opening and downloading each and every document to see if I've basically found the right document. To scope and find the most relevant pages of a document, Ontolica Preview allows you to quickly locate the search result by highlighting the search result within the document. As you can see here, we've highlighted oil and gas. It also allows you to look and find the most relevant pages. In this case, the most relevant page is 2, 22, 23, and 27. So if I go to the most relevant page, I can actually, look at the most relevant pages within the document quite seamlessly, or I can actually scope through the document and see the whole document from page to page. If I wanted to find something that maybe refine the search term a little bit further within the document, I would be able to also do that by typing in a particular keyword. In this case, I'll just type in oil, and the document will be analyzed to find the most relevant pages for that particular page. And as you can see here, it comes up with only oil instead of the oil and gas, which I previously showed you. Because Ontolica has real-time conversion services, end users can also open additional documents at the same time. And this allows end users to quickly compare these two documents. Is this the document that I'm actually looking for in the file format that I'm actually looking for? And it allows users to basically bridge the gap between discovery and visualization, and also accelerates the identification processes. On the left-hand side here, we can actually see that we have numerous refiners. These refiners can be made by either using metadata or properties, and they can actually be easily set up in the central administration without having to do any coding or heavy lifting. And we give you the option of actually choosing the types of documents. In this case, giving you an option of multiple selections, whether that be author or date or file size. Alternatively, we could also do provide you to have or to view hierarchical refiners based on managed metadata, which includes the actual number of documents that reside within that property or refiner. And this all can be easily configured based on the multiple criteria within your central administration. So if we go and showcase the multiple selection that we have here based on Derek Jones, we will be able to see these two documents, where one is in PowerPoint and the other one is actually in PDF. We can see that it's actually located in oil and gas and upstream document library, and this therefore comes to the point where I can talk about how basically to complete a good search experience, one does not just end at finding the document. Further working with the document and locating its origins in the form of what document library it resides in is also part of the search cycle. So as I open, Ontolica has added action on results to actually support these business processes for the end user, where we can actually see the first page thumbnail of the document inside the document library, linking the search results to this specific document library. This allows users to take action directly and preview documents in the library, providing an overview of all the documents in the thumbnail, regardless of the file formats, which you can see here. We have multiple file formats. Ontolica actually supports more than 500 different file formats, including the more complex file types like AutoCAD drawings and other vector-based formats. These are typically also very large and may be stored outside of the SharePoint environment. And other file types that we support are generally used in marketing departments such as Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. To give you a little bit of an overview here of how easy it is to open a AutoCAD document or a heavy document within SharePoint, is just a matter of choosing the preview functionality here, and then you can skip from page to page, viewing the document in a seamless way. This allows users to obviously speed up the document discovery process and have a better overview of the documents that are located in this particular document library, and thus delivering a more document-centric user experience. So, so far what we have seen, Ontolica allows you to leverage the existing SharePoint environment without any lifting, without any additional infrastructure. But what happens when your documents reside outside of SharePoint? We know that today SharePoint setups can be complex and can encompass content from multiple sources, old versions of SharePoint, internal databases, cloud storage, file shares, and so on. The mix of these content sources is a challenge for out-of-the-box preview in standard SharePoint 2013, as these sources aren't really supported by the preview functionality. For example, we have here some quick filters, where, for example, file shares are not actually supported by the standard SharePoint, so previewing of files residing in file shares are not supported. These documents are actually usually indexed by SharePoint and will appear in the search result, but without preview on certain documents, the user experience tends to be broken and inconsistent. In addition, there is no standard SharePoint does not support for documents on the internet or through HTTP or web services, whereas Ontolica can support this. So we do support preview on public-facing websites, as well as multiple array of devices such as mobile, iPads, so tablets, so forth. So it is quite important to have the preview functionality if you have, or if your organization has very large files, for example, more than 2 GB, either technical drawings or most marketing departments have use vector formats, and which can't simply be stored in SharePoint. Ontolica can actually aid in accessing preview from within SharePoint, and this provides the end users with the ability to search and screen through large amounts of documents regardless of where they reside. Well, I hope you got a little inspiration in regards to what the preview functionality can do for you as a user when it comes to search and visualization, and I'll hand it over to Mark to showcase how Ontolica has aided them with one of their clients.
Thanks, Sri. I hope that was a great introduction there to actually seeing Ontolica in action. So just a quick summary of what Sri covered for us there. We saw document preview support for more than the Microsoft Office file formats. We also saw document preview capabilities directly within SharePoint document libraries, as well as visual highlighting and search query terms within the document. Sri also showed us document preview capabilities on documents stored externally from SharePoint, in this case files stored in a network file share, and she also showed us how we could refine against multiple refiners with the enhanced refinement panel. Additionally, Sri also showed us how with the actions menu on documents in search results pages, we could jump from a search results page to the underlying document library where a document may be stored. So that's a really key piece of functionality that comes with Ontolica Preview that's not available with SharePoint out of the box. So having seen the technology, having been given an overview of the Ontolica Preview and seen it in action, at this point I'd like to just give you an overview of a case study for one of our particular clients where we've implemented Ontolica Preview alongside SharePoint 2013. So this particular client is a specialist global insurance company operating from a London head office with branch operations in Australia, South Africa, and they underwrite all sorts of specialist global insurance products from their Lloyd's of London syndicate. They have over 200 end users, which include end users from external partners who, underwrite or provide claim handling services for them, who all need to see the content stored in this particular client's environment. At the moment, they have over 2 million policy documents, which are stored in multiple document repositories. In this case, when we started working with them, that's SharePoint 2010, SharePoint 2007. Network file shares, and a legacy document management solution. So that gives you an overview of who they are and how they manage documents at the moment. A quick overview of some of the problems. The key problem really for the core end users is that underwriters, the core end users being underwriters, assistant underwriters, underwriting assistants and claim handlers, are spending far too much time each day searching for content across these 4 key structured document repositories, each of which has their own unique search functionality. So rather than being able to do a single search across all of them, they're having to go into each repository, work out the different kind of search capabilities, run a search, and then see if they've can find the content they're looking for. This is taking far too much time. The solution to that has been for us to really merge the content that's stored in SharePoint 2007 and 2010, as well as the content stored in the legacy document management solution, into a new custom document management and content management solution built on SharePoint 2013. What we've done there is provide enterprise search capabilities across all of that content, plus content stored in network file shares, where there's still value in keeping the content in network file shares rather than migrating it into SharePoint. And by introducing and including Ontolica Preview, we're able to allow end users to search for all of this content in one place and preview the content in the same location, and make, as a result, much quicker business decisions about the content they search for. Is it what they need to do the job that they're trying to do at a given time? So you can see here an end user has actually searched for a piece of content. The preview panel is actually showing that document with their search query highlighted in yellow, and it's really that element of it that's allowing them to make these more effective and quicker business decisions. To give you a sense of the return on investment, this particular client has 200 employees within the company, and they're spending on average 19% of their time searching for and gathering information, just doing that and nothing else. So it's just around 7 hours a week, which is a lot of time. Based on an average salary of £35,000 a year, the business is therefore spending £1.3 million per year just paying employees to search for information required to do their job. It's a lot of money. So implementing Ontolica Preview and SharePoint 2013 to provide a unified search solution, we estimate will bring them a conservative estimate of 20% improvement in search. And based on that, that equates to a saving of £265,000 per year to the business. So, a pervasive number and a good return on investment figure. So I hope that's given you a good overview of Ontolica Preview and SharePoint 2013's search capabilities. The demonstration from Sri actually showing the technology in action, and a quick kind of overview of how we've actually implemented both technologies with one of our clients. At this point, I'd like to hand back over to Holly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So firstly, a massive thanks to Mark and Cherie for hosting this webinar. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for attending. We would like to hear from you your thoughts on what you thought of the webinar, and if there was anything in particular during the webinar that interests you and you'd like to know more about. You can visit our website, which you can see we do have white papers available to download on SharePoint as a whole, and you can also contact us via the website too. There's also the option to call us or email us as well. So we hope you enjoyed this webinar, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks.